Hello third graders and welcome to another English video lesson. Today we will start talking about what's right and wrong, and our first topic is called moral dilemma. My name is Irena Pavlović and I will take you through these several lessons. Hopefully, by the end of today's lesson, you will be able to describe a morally conflicting situation. Also, you should be able to use a graphic organizer as a tool to direct your thinking and learning. As always, you're going to need your notebook or a piece of paper and something to write with. You will also need a device with internet access so you can do the tasks. Just like every time, you can pause or replay the video whenever you feel like it, and especially when I suggest you do that so you can do the tasks. So, let's start. For this particular lesson, we are going to use a graphic organizer called KWL Chart. Its name suggests how it works and what you should do to make the most of it. As you can see, it has 3 columns. In the first one, you write down what you already know, hence the K. Then you write down the things that you want to learn, that's where the W comes from, and then you write down the things that you learned. This is a great tool for directing thinking and learning, and it can be used in different subjects. Let's see what you have to do. First, you write the information about the topic you're already familiar with. It helps activate prior knowledge and it directs your thinking, which is very important when it comes to learning. Then, you write down the things that you want to learn. You list the items, the concepts that you want to find out more about. You write down the questions that you need answers to, and all the ideas that come to mind that you would like to learn more about. This part helps provide structure and focuses your learning. These 2 things are done before the start of the lesson. Then, you move on to filling in the 3rd column. You write down whatever new information learned during the lesson, and you often refer to the W column to see whether you have answered all the questions and analyzed all the concepts. This L part of the chart is great for future reference because it helps you remember what you learned. The last column is filled at the end of the lesson. So, let's see how we'll use the KWL chart in today's lesson. The topic is moral dilemma. I will suggest that you pause the video after this slide and prepare your own KWL chart. Fill in the first column. Write down what you already know about moral dilemmas. Can you perhaps define it or explain what it is? Can you give an example of a moral dilemma? Can you think of any related concepts? These 3 questions may help you write down the things that you know about it in the column K. Unfortunately, I cannot see your answers, but here are the things that I already know about the topic. For example, I know the dilemma is a difficult situation, the one where we have to choose between 2 or more options. And I think I'm pretty certain that moral dilemma has something to do with moral principles, and it involves a difficult choice between 2 different solutions. I know an example of a runaway trolley barreling down the railway tracks in which you have to decide whether you will hurt the 5 people on the way the trolley goes, or you can choose to make the trolley go the other way, but then you will kill another person, so not an easy one. And I know another example of an overcrowded lifeboat where after the shipwreckage there was a problem where the captain had to decide who he will remove from the lifeboat because there weren't enough places for all the people, otherwise all of them would be killed. So, I'd say it has something to do with conflict, which is a more general term, and I say dilemma is a specific type of conflict. Is there anything you would like to add to this column? Let's move on. In the 2nd column, in the WA part, we write down what we would like to learn. Think of concepts or ideas you've heard something about, but you're not sure you understand them. Think of anything else you find fascinating when it comes to the topic. This can help you complete the W column. Now pause the video and write your answers. Here are my answers in the W column, the things that I want to learn. First of all, the correct definition. Then, I'm interested in more examples, particularly famous and contemporary ones. I would also like to learn how to talk about moral dilemmas, and I would like to know how to resolve one, in case I'm presented with it. So, let's see. According to Oxford University, a moral dilemma is a situation in which a difficult choice has to be made between two courses of action, either of which entails transgressing a moral principle. This basically means I was right. A moral dilemma is a difficult situation in which whatever you choose, you will feel uncomfortable because one of the moral principles will be broken. Now, let's have a look at some of the examples. Probably the most famous moral dilemma comes from William Styron's novel called Sophie's Choice. It tells a heartbreaking story of a woman sent to a concentration camp during the World War II. The Nazis force her to choose which of her two children will live. She can spare one of them if she chooses which one. Otherwise, both die. A similar situation is happening daily around the world, where medical staff is forced to choose whose life they will fight for, as there are more COVID-19 patients than there are available breathing machines. So I guess these two are the most famous and contemporary examples of moral dilemmas. The next thing listed in the W column was how to talk about moral dilemmas. We need some key vocabulary. So, when you say dilemma, moral dilemma, which words and phrases come to mind? Do you think you could draw a mind map to show the collocations you can think of? Now is a great time to pause the video and write your ideas down. Look at my ideas. If you open the link, you will be able to copy my mind map and write and add your own ideas into it. I put them into several groupings: words to describe moral dilemmas, different types of dilemmas, the situation you can be in, and actions. You can use the link or scan the code and get to this mind map. And finally, I wanted to know how to resolve a moral dilemma. According to experts, there are three things you can do. First of all, you have to use logic, not emotions. But from the examples, you saw how difficult it can be. Then, you have to analyze the pros and cons of each decision. Think about the good sides and the bad sides of both courses of action, and then choose the one you think is right. And finally, you should go for the option that creates the least amount of pain or injustice for everyone involved. Sometimes it is the best thing you can do. Just remember the examples. So, these were the things I wanted to learn more about. I hope you found them interesting too. Now, let's move on to practice. When you open this link or scan the code, you will find a short text about a moral dilemma. See if you can complete it with the words you saw on the mind map. Make sure to check their meaning. Now is the good time to pause the video and do the task. When you have done it, you can download the PDF for future reference and have the example with you. Now, think about the solution to this moral dilemma. Do you know what you should do? Do you have the right solution? You can post your solution on this Padlet wall, the wall you'll see when you open this link or scan this code. Why not, using the template, describe another moral dilemma and post it on the wall? You can invite your friends and classmates to comment on them. Wouldn't it be interesting to see what they have to say, how they would resolve different situations? So, we've come to the end of the lesson. Now is the time to go back to the KWL chart you started filling in at the beginning of the lesson. Are all the questions from the W column answered? Are all the concepts analyzed? If yes, then complete the L column with the responses. Write down what you have learned during this lesson. If not, go back and do some more research. I'm sure you'll find many more fascinating things. Enjoy your learning. Keep the chart for future reference. You'll need it next time. This is the end of our lesson today. I really hope you found it interesting and useful. I also hope it gave you some food for thought. Hopefully you'll join us again next time. Until then, enjoy the rest of your day. Bye bye.